Welcome, adventurers. My name is Eli, the Game Master, and this is A Good Day to Die, a channel where me and my friends play a tabletop role-playing game where I have created a fantasy world filled with traps, dungeons, and monsters for my friends to overcome and become the heroes they were destined to be. You're going to join us on this adventure, but today we are going to introduce ourselves in our brand new channel, A Good Day to Die, which we never thought would get off the ground. But we've done it, and today is that day. So, let's introduce ourselves, everyone. Say hi. We're all here, right?
Hey-o.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
Hey, now we're all here.
Hey.
Hey guys.
I love that smattering of, hey. We've done it! We've started it!
Yeah.
And there was much rejoicing.
But
So-
we're here. We're here.
So let's go ahead and just introduce ourselves one at a time. Let's introduce who we are and what we'll be playing in the upcoming campaign. And we'll start with my left here. His name is...
My name is Andrew Berta. I will be playing the Tiefling cleric called Dr. Isaacton.
Noise.
My name is Amos Oyston. I will be playing the human paladin named Damon.
David.
My name is Derek Pepin, and I will be playing Marcus Rinn, the Summoner. And
My name is Shane Young. I'll be playing the Human Blood Rager. I will be the meat shield of the group and probably the majority of the damage at the beginning.
My name is Max Briscoe, and I am playing Manzarek of Dendro. He is a Gripply druid.
Little frog man. Ribbit.
Gripply's a frog.
Grizzlies are frogs. I'm Delaney Austin. I'm playing a humanoid creature, believed to be human, and very mischievous, and definitely not a rogue.
I definitely no longer
That doesn't raise any suspicious questions.
definitely no longer believe
Definitely
you're
not a
human.
rogue.
I'm playing a normal people that does normal things
Yes.
Winky face.
It's like that
in the
cow
normal
The
world.
cow on the skateboard.
I'm normal.
One of us is a cow. I'm not a cow. Are you a cow? I'm not a cow. Yeah, I'm not cows either. Let's go do sick tricks on skateboard.
What the hell are we playing?
I don't know, man.
I don't know what's happening.
Airbud.
But we are streaming to you live on the Twitch channel, but this is also going to be recorded and put on YouTube as well. But this, where we're recording, is a studio that I and one of my friends helped build. Actually, it was like a combined effort from a lot of different people over a long period of time. And I would say we're 99.9% done with it. Like,
Yeah,
we
we'll make improvements as we go along, and
I
as
did stuff.
we put more funding into it, but
it is a fully operational studio. I'm super excited about it. I'm excited. Also, something I wanted to show everyone. I'm off camera now.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't worry, I'll
unscripted.
take the
So-
spotlight while you're
So
gone.
Shane, who is playing Ragnar, has made us all
you
templates.
put the right side.
I'm doing, yeah. So this one's mine. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Eli, the Dungeon Master.
Game Master.
The Game Master.
I can read it.
I can read. And on the other side, it says Dungeon Daddy.
But to you, it might read Dab.
Oh, is it
Dungeon
inverted?
Totally backwards.
Oh no! For you dyslexic viewers out there, it says Dungeon Daddy. For everyone else, it hurts. Not being done. Anyway, yeah. But everybody else has one too. Shane made one for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my character's name's Perry. I didn't say that.
Barry the Platypus.
You had one job.
I had a lot of jobs, sir.
Perry the Undescript Humanoid.
The difference is the hat.
Yeah. Actually, though.
I'm beginning to suspect you might
may
not be
be.
human.
Why would you say that?
I can't do the growl of Perry.
I believe very much so that I'm human,
That's all that matters.
to the best of my knowledge.
Well,
Yeah, that's all
if
that
you say
matters.
so.
We'll just kill him and go on.
He
He'll make a
identifies
character.
as human.
Oh,
I
okay. Well,
identify as human.
then we're good.
But just some background on who we are and how long we've been doing this. I've been a DM since 2013. Was that when we first started playing? Max is
right.
one of my oldest players.
I
so-
can tell you exactly when, because of the email to Nicole to meet her.
Wow.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
not-
have that?
I do, yeah.
Like queued up?
Well, yeah.
And he's going to tell us right now.
Right now.
Rip me out.
Right now.
You gotta be kidding.
And go. And start.
Don't worry, it's about to happen at any moment.
I'm just gonna start making the cat joke.
Everybody watching is on the edge of their seat.
2014.
Oh,
2014.
close.
Yeah.
So 10 years.
September.
Yeah.
A decade.
Decade.
In September, yes.
Nice.
This
So-
stream is decade in the making.
Well, not exactly.
God. But yes, I've been a DM for 10 years, and Max was. Is anybody else? Mac?
He's the oldest.
Yeah, I think you are my
Yeah.
oldest. Like,
I was playing a small creature then, too. Small, huge as hell. Small.
that's how it usually goes in life.
This is the small side of the table.
Quite literally.
Uh,
I didn't, but that's cool.
but how long have the rest of you been playing D&D?
So Shane and I
Or
started,
been playing tabletop role-playing games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we could. It's fine.
Nondescript.
We're not playing D&D, but
We're not. It's Pathfinder. We can say that.
We can say that.
We can say that. We can say that.
First
It's probably
edition.
been every bit of
First
10
edition.
years since we first started.
So we started playing about the same time that these guys, Max and Eli, started playing. We started with,
It was just the three of us.
and it was 4.0, 4E.
We tried
sorry.
3.5, but it was 4.0.
We started with 4E, and it was
You
interesting.
had no options. Everything was laid out for you.
Yeah, and then we graduated, and we learned to do things better. But it's been probably about 10 years.
Yeah, every bit.
Actually, almost immediately after I got married, which would be about the same time September 2014. So about the same amount of time Shane and I have been playing together. And then Eli, it's kind of weird. We all know each other from gaming, but also a lot of outside weird connections.
Yeah.
We used to have a thing.
Yeah, like
Right.
me and Derek worked together through.
They don't work together anymore.
Yeah, like he
But
stopped
they're
at
amicable
he stopped at
about
the
it.
grocery store that I worked at, and I invited him one day, and that's how he got brought into the group.
I
Like,
was just
literally.
going to leave it at we had a thing.
Yeah,
Had a
I mean,
thing. And then Berta and I
did.
went to college together, played in the same marching band. That was kind of fun.
I know Max through another John
And Boy Scouts.
and the Boy Scouts.
The Scouts. It's no longer
I
the
never
Boy
really
Scouts.
thought of it. Yeah, it's like when you put it in perspective, like we had this weird connection
Yeah.
to each other.
I've
Small
known
world.
about
Hold
Derek
on.
since like way before I should because of my
Max,
brother.
or
I
not
need
Max,
Like-
Sam.
Because of Max.
Not because of Max, because of Sam.
I do need to throw my hat in the ring on this. Dungeon Daddy dated my sister.
Yes, many years ago.
That's how we met.
Because I've known you for
Were there fisticuffs
hang
involved?
on,
Oh.
15 years.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've known each other for 15 years. We've been friends for about. We've known each other for 15 years.
Yeah,
and friends
friends,
for most of that.
yeah,
for the vast majority. Of
Decade or more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring on that. Like Derek was just saying, like I wonder if there was fisticuffs involved. Nobody fights the dwarf. He wins every time.
Yes.
Eli can verify he does have a mean right hook. I will verify you
flash.
can't do anything besides get cornered.
Yeah. When you slap my butt without my consent, not you. You got your rich hands. Scout. Also, just so everybody knows, this is like our pilot episode. We're just trying to get stuff together, just trying to get like
Finalize our sound testing.
get all the bugs worked out. So if you're watching this and like everybody else is coming through clear, and I'm like, just bear with us until we get it all figured out.
We're just dinking around right now.
Dinking. He said dinking.
I did.
Cut that, Berta. Cut it.
That specifically say
Don't
That's the
you
title of
freaking
it.
stay.
It's gonna start loading in.
That's where Dana died.
Dinking.
We're dumb. We're very dumb.
If you're hoping for interesting content, I don't
Too
know.
much
But the stuff that'll get us off of Twitch.
What about if we went over some of the fun things that we've done in past games? Like
Can we definitely go off with dragging him over and causing the one person who we also ruined the life of.
The afterlife of.
Are you talking about the apocalypse time?
No.
Which
You
time?
thought
He
it
wasn't
was.
there for the apocalypse.
Yeah, no, you referenced it though. So me and another player had dragged one of Max's characters over to a cauldron and
Oh yeah.
cut his hand open, poured blood into it like as we did, and we got this undead
Without
character.
his consent.
Yeah, without his consent. How hardcore. Because I'm definitely more the chaotic of let's just see what happens and go with it, and he's experienced the
Can
apocalypse with
verify.
it the last time that's happened. And we got this undead warrior that followed us around, and he had one eyeball that would roll each socket each time. He would tilt his head.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Do you remember what his name was?
Nope. Do you?
I could go back in my notes and find it.
Do you have any idea how many people I've made up in my head?
Probably more than
And I'm
five.
not good with names. That's the thing. Like,
You're better than me.
it's like, what's this person's favorite flavor of ice cream? Oh, strawberry. Easy. What's his name?
Samsonite.
Yeah. Name's on the briefcase.
So, I mean, to go a little bit back, we did do some very little streaming 2 years ago?
Too long ago.
Too long ago. It was a fun campaign.
Y'all were streaming 5 years ago because I was a DE when that happened.
It was not 5 years ago.
There's no way Dimitri was 5 years ago.
I'm kind of on.
It was before
Max's.
COVID.
Yeah.
It was, but then during COVID and a little bit after.
Yeah.
But it was
But-
kind of like
Oh,
a
that
makeshift,
blows my
like,
mind.
We started 5 years.
this might seem makeshift to some scale, depending on what you're used to, but this is far from makeshift.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of investment and time and energy has went into this, and it's pretty cool.
So,
Like,
so what we're asking is more energy and time will go into it if you give us more money.
but for that, I have to have it set up to
Soren.
receive money. So that's
Soren was his name.
make checks payable to
Yeah, I've got it. I
Delaney
just looked it
Austin. Oh, sorry.
sorry.
All checks and proceeds.
You interrupted the beginning of our sentence with the middle of yours.
Weird way to start a sentence of huh?
But so that was Shane's most fun moment. Does anybody else have any fun moments they want to share? No, it's been a
yeah.
nightmare. It's been a waking nightmare ever since.
The only other thing that I thoroughly enjoyed was Amos killing himself.
Which time?
The 6 times in the last campaign.
The
last
fact
one?
that you have to ask. I, as a monk, grappled an elephant monster on the top of a platform.
That's true.
I was playing.
You grapple a lot of things.
I was playing a grappling monk, but yeah, you made an elephant monster with all these tentacles, and I just went giant mode, and I'm like, I'm gonna fight that guy, and then I fought that guy. It was kind of a neck and neck tie.
It grabbed Shane, like to begin combat, and if it maintained its grapple into the next round, it could slide you into its tentacly maw and like hold you. So it did that with Shane. Everybody attacked it. It grabbed 2 other players, and then Berta grappled it. And so it was grappling, and being grappled. And I could just imagine, like, Sean was just standing there watching all this happen and being like, what are you morons doing? Like, we're fighting for our lives.
I was.
That monk,
Yeah, you were. It was,
Well, it was fun.
That was bad.
monk could run twice as fast as Usain Bolt. I think is how we calculated it out.
yeah, it was dumb.
Oh, one of my favorite things is how you calculated of how you can get movement speed.
So I did this thing a while back. We are so uncoordinated with this conversation. This is ADD, the movie. I did this thing where I was trying to make my own tabletop role-playing game, and I was like, how is the movement speed going to be calculated? You know, how far can you move in a single turn? And I'm like, well, if turn is 6 seconds and the average human can run this many miles per hour, and then I broke it down to how far they can move in 6 seconds, and it was something like 29.8 feet per 6 seconds, and I was like, oh, so
30.
30.
So someone's already done the math.
Yeah,
Imagine
somebody
that.
already did the math. Somebody much smarter than me already did it. And I was like, ugh.
How long did it take you?
Not as long as you, not like an embarrassing, like, am I shaking? I feel like I'm shaking.
You might be
No.
shaking.
Not an embarrassing long time, but longer than necessary.
For it to be realized that it was already.
Yeah, somebody had already done it, and I was like, oh. I've known this forever, and now I just figured out how I know
you
it.
know it. Yeah.
So I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think my favorite time as a player would have to have been probably Benny. Just the generalized whole campaign.
I'm going to take my
Benny
sword.
was good.
Playing
Magnetic
stupid
field.
is just something that comes
And I'm
so
going
easily.
to throw it at the creature.
So
And Eli going,
Benny's the one that was like really dumb that you put. I wasn't there for that campaign.
Obscenely dumb.
roll.
You got told all about it, though. I know you did.
Yeah,
'Cause I know I talked to you about it.
A couple times, yeah.
I mean, I'd say my favorite moment. It's when I shifted the entire campaign.
That's your favorite moment?
I think so, because I love being a pirate. That was so fun.
Oh.
We were supposed to be like religious
I had a hand in
crusaders
that, and I did
or
not
relic
intend to.
thing.
I was
I
going
don't
to
know.
make you champions of a good deity, and y'all were like, I'm going to put this guard to
Piracy.
sleep with a stick. He's all tuckered out. It's like, you did like 86 points of damage to that guard.
He's right, I'm level 1.
How much experience did I get for putting him to bed?
Yeah, that was. You learned a lot about nautical
About maritime
information.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the group went into this a whole different direction, and I made everyone pirates because it was the only sensible thing to do. I promise you, it was the only sensible thing to do. And so I started listening to podcasts and looking up things on sailing and all of this stuff, and I'm just like, I know way more about the age of sail than any average person should know.
You're welcome for that.
Thanks. Now I'm a Longest John's fan.
And along
I
with
just saw
that,
them live, by the way. Shout out to the Longest John's.
Along with that is, so my character, much like myself, was terrible with names. And like, ended up just making names up for everybody because I literally couldn't remember. Even if I wrote them down, I'm like, I don't know who this is, except for one mystical being from another plane of.
From the
From the plane of time.
Yeah.
That was I'm gonna mess it up now. Christophorelius Tetria Mastrial. Nailed that one, and
Everyone else
that's
just
it.
walks away. My character's just like, wait.
Wait, what?
Berta was the only one that caught it. Berta was just like, no, we're not going to
Don't
ignore
do that.
this.
I'm sorry, what did you like?
It's like Dory from Finding Nemo.
Say that one more time.
Christophorelius Tetria Mastrial.
No, he said say one more time.
I don't think I could say that in
Uh-huh.
100 years.
No one else could.
I definitely didn't practice it.
I just
before
heard
this.
it.
I said it at least once because I came up with the name.
Yeah, but you
Not
said
bad
it
for
more,
on the
you said it
spot.
more slowly though.
I also read it. So there was that because I wrote it out and then I wrote it phonetically so
Was
that I
it
could
was it a town in Ireland that you found that just looked good?
So a little bit. So he sent me that. I was like, that's hilarious, and I spent all week memorizing it.
I was like, I have something for you, Delaney. I think you're gonna like.
So if I were to pick a favorite, then
I spent all week memorizing it.
It's a good week.
A week well spent.
Yes, because
He did nothing else.
I mean, technically I was working, but you know.
You think he
You're
worked?
just there working like.
pretty much driving after all the different locations, just like, all right, I got it.
Were you working in Murfreesboro at that time?
Is that Bohongo is?
Let's talk about your personal
Oh,
life.
yeah. So I've been
How
married
far
for
back
almost
that was.
10 years, 2 kids. So a little bit about our gaming, like what gaming we're doing. We can talk about some house rules that we like to use.
Yeah,
or-
let's do that.
So we do Pathfinder 1E, not the 2E stuff, and we mix in a little bit of 3.5 when it's convenient.
Only when it benefits us.
Yeah, for sure. Or the whatever.
Or
I promise you, it never just benefits
I know
you.
it doesn't.
No, and that's one
We will
of the cool
exploit
things.
something and you throw it right back at us.
I'm like, oh, is that how that works?
So if you guys are the rules crunchy people and you like homework the game, and you can follow along with that for what we're doing.
Yes. Also, we're not perfect at what we do, and so if you
Speak
start
for
like
yourself.
reading, everyone except Derek isn't perfect at what we do. So if we mess up the rules or something is inconsistent, just kind of bear with us. You know, it's like suspension of disbelief. We're doing our best. We have been playing for a very long time, but Pathfinder is complicated, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Because everything has a rule, and so it's like, can I do this? And it's like, I guess there's a rule for everything.
And when in doubt, we always go with rule of cool for that time being. Like if it's going to take 20 minutes to look it up, you know, we all come to a consensus. It's not just one person say, and then if we were wrong, and we'll fix it the next time. We'll go back during downtime and look it up or whatever. Somebody will.
Unless a sword thrown across the room was going to save the day, then we don't rule
was.
cool that.
And it didn't.
Sorry.
Floor's magnetized. Cool. I thought on my little sword.
And most of the time it comes down to, like, you know, GM says so. I'm like, this is how it is because I believe that's fair. Fair is fair. But there has been a handful of times where I'll leave it up to you guys. We'll do it to a vote. What seems best? What seems fair? And that doesn't mean there isn't a rule for it. That just means we're trying to move things along, you know, and we'll, like, look it up later and be like, our bad, but we're having fun. This is all just because we're having fun.
Yeah. And if we're wrong, whatever.
But we'll be wrong together.
We
Can never be wrong if there's two rights.
I've been wrong a bunch of times. I've gotten good at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, huh?
And he loves it when we point it out.
So a couple house rules that we'd like to play with.
So one of the house rules is a nat 20 in most all circumstances is a success. It will always succeed. And a nat 1 is always a fail. And it will always be a critical failure. And the way that I typically do this is, and it's up to my discretion on how I want to play it out, because everyone's agreed that that's how it's going to be, I didn't dictate that, is if you get like a nat 20 on something, it's not just, oh, you succeed, good on you, mate. I make it better. I make you succeeded better than you thought you were going to. So, you know, if they needed to succeed a strength check to push something 5 feet, but they get a nat 20, I'll move it 10 feet. You know, something to that effect.
Or if your plan was bad and you managed to wrangle a gigantic eel of sorts, but you're just a spellcaster.
And what are you using as bait? Nat 20, it's not always a success. You've just done what you've sought out to do.
You've caught the eel, now what?
Yeah, now what, buddy?
Conversely, and my personal favorite part of our house rules is the nat 1.
The nat 1.
Bone miss.
So
Nat 1 on knowledge checks are my favorite.
So if you get a nat 1 on a knowledge check, most of the time it's harmless. Most of the time, like, I want to know about this plant, and you get a nat 1, I'll be like, that is brewed into a delectable tea. You know, and it's like,
It's Nightshade.
oh, wonderful, yeah.
Don't drink that.
Was that not
You
one the
died
reason
of
Benny didn't
dysentery.
believe in dragons, or was that my own doing?
That was your own doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so his favorite character was Benny. Benny was 2 points away from being too dumb to speak. That's how dumb Benny was. And I truly believe it does take an actual intelligent person to play a really dumb character, like a really convincing dumb character.
Or someone really, really dumb.
Or somebody that's actually really dumb.
good at
We'll leave it up to you to decide which Derek is.
You'll find out.
Next week on.
But something else we do is with the nat 20 on an attack is a crit. So you will always hit nat 20 on an attack. If you confirm the critical hit, you then have a multiplier on that damage. The multiplier usually ranges anywhere between 2 and 4. However, our house rule is if you roll a nat 20 and then you roll again to confirm and get another nat 20, 2 nat 20s in a row, it will stack one more multiplier. So if it normally would have had done 2, and now it does 3. And so if you roll another nat 20, it will then continue to stack. So like if you rolled a nat 20, then you roll to confirm, you get another 20, but then you roll to confirm that and you miss it, then it only does the ×2, not the ×3. You have to confirm the second crit.
Is 3 nat 20s in a row the highest we've ever gotten?
I think so.
I've rolled 3 nat 20s in a row before.
In combat.
I think that's
Yeah,
that's
Friday.
campaign.
I think
So
that was,
who rolled?
The nat ones, that would have been.
No, there was a crit. It might have been Brittany. She was having a crazy night that
I
night.
think you're telling me. Yeah, I think
Maybe.
you're telling me it's Brittany.
Yeah.
I remember the not ones, but
I only remember the bad.
And along with the critical hit and compounding on each other, we also have a once per session house rule where we can do a called shot, and it can be any encounter, any time, any player. A lot of times we end up forgetting about it until like 3 sessions. They're like, oh yeah. So, but
it's once per party, not
Because
per player.
it's usually because you're backed into a corner
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, how can I prevent this from happening? If I cut his hand off.
yeah, so we can do a called shot, and I mean, if we hit with a nat 20, then we can permanently maim that character that we're fighting, which is also a once per encounter for the DM. He could also choose to call shot us, which is only fair.
He doesn't typically forget.
He does. Not really.
I just haven't very often. But there has been a couple of times where you guys have outsmarted me and have gotten like much farther than I've expected, and I'll be like, you know what would prevent this? If Delaney didn't have an eye, that would help me feel better.
Somehow
ever
it's
actually
always
succeeded?
me.
Has it?
No.
I don't
It's
know
only
if I
ever
remember.
happened once, right?
Yeah, I can't remember when last time it's happened.
I think it's happened twice. I know it happened with Big Grin at one point.
So
Oh, yeah.
It happened.
Didn't it?
yes.
Yeah.
It happened against me once when I was playing against y'all.
Oh,
so
Yeah, he was playing
there was.
Leovine, the Unborn, or the Unreborn, whatever you want to go. Undead?
Reborn.
I was
I don't think
playing
it would
a
be
character
Reborn.
that we played in a previous session, and then I was asked to come back. I wasn't living here at the time, and so I came. I drove like 2.5 hours to come to a session where I was the big baddie for the session. They had resurrected me somehow, and
There was magic involved.
yeah, and so I was like an undead version of one of my favorite characters I've ever played. And Delaney's character cut my arm off in the second round.
I was like, called shot.
And
Cut
it
your arm
still
off.
wasn't like an easy
Oh
fight.
no, this guy is literally as strong as an elephant. Like, that's not an exaggeration.
Pull up
The
into
fact
the
that
house.
it was the fact that you had 2 giant weapons.
Yeah, I had
That you
knocked,
could swing. That now you still only had one, but you
I
still
knocked-
had one.
I knocked most of you unconscious.
it
Like,
was a
even
good
with
fight.
one arm.
Pulling up to the house, knowing Max's vehicle at the time, and just going, I don't want to fight your Leovine. I just don't want to do it. We're in a completely different campaign. And I walk in, and sure enough, who do I have to fight? Jarl Leovine.
I was there. I'd seen what he could do. I was on the happy end of it.
I had to just heal him and his moves. I didn't.
But then you had to heal yourself from his moves.
No, his moves didn't fight. That was the scary part.
Yeah, there was no moose involved in that.
You have
If
to-
I had been able to hit Shaw with the lance, holy
Yeah, if
crap.
Gary Busey was there.
What? So he had a mount that was a moose named Gavir.
Was it a
is that
cavalier
right?
technically?
It was a cavalier, yeah.
Yeah, and we named him Gary Moosey. We did. He didn't. We named him Gary Moosey. And I'm very proud of that. And I will not apologize.
Same campaign where we had another player who was very mad at this town for holding his beloved from them. So he cast a spell that's an AoE called Visions of Hell and gave these people like actual damage and
Jacob, if you're watching, you know what you've done.
Friggin' Jacob, man. That's the only time I've had PvP intentionally.
Scariest player ever.
and then cast Wall of Fire to defend the town against the zombie horde. Cast permanency on the Wall of Fire. And now that town has a burning wall of fire that they can't get within 6 feet of, or they start to actually catch on fire.
He's like, you're welcome. I spend so much gold on
My
this."
work here is done.
Everybody's screaming.
Rides off to the sunset.
The ecosystem's ruined. He's just like, yeah, I'm a good person.
It's gonna make expanding the town a little challenging.
I'm going to mount my goat that has ant haul and ride away into the sunset with Broomhilda. That's a thing that happened.
Yeah.
Actual thing that happened.
That was a fun campaign.
Are there any more house rules? Nat 1s, Nat 20s, the MAME.
I mean, ultimately, it does boil down to rule of cool a lot of times.
Mhm.
Not a lot of times, but
What
We
unknown
are-
of the rule?
fairly familiar with the rules. Sometimes we unintentionally exploit them. But we have a lot of rules lawyers. that play with us, and
I wouldn't call myself a lawyer.
We do.
no,
Nobody said we were talking
no
about
one.
you.
I am self-proclaimed.
I was like, you self-identify. But with that, like, and even myself, you know, I usually do play like the roguish type characters, but we're gonna play fair. If I know something's
Yes.
wrong, I'll call you out. If he forgot to add something on an attack against me, I'm like, hey, I don't want to tell you, but I got you.
Derek has done that a handful of times where he's like, I don't want to say it. I don't want to be that guy.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I've pointed it out to where we sometimes get off kind of scot-free on some stuff that we should have. That's been fixed. I hate it. I hate it a lot.
let's
But
go
if
back
you do
to
dumb
when we were
stuff, you should
ignorant.
have dumb things happen to you. That's all I gotta say.
But yes, and so this campaign that we're going to be going into is going to be a homebrew. This is all from my noggin with some stuff in the in kind of the lore of Pathfinder, but I've changed it up a little bit. And so like if I mention something and you're like, that's not how that doesn't do like that at all. Like I've changed some stuff. This is homebrew, and this is how things are going to work in this world. But just kind of, I figured we'd just go ahead and go into like the world we're in and like what's going on and everything.
Yeah.
So, in this world, it starts on the continent of Terra Esquia. Terra Esquia is a large continent that has various ecosystems. So it varies from mountains to plains to rivers to several forests, and I've drawn out a map, and maybe in the near future we can have it digitized so that we can show our viewers what it looks like. I can like flip it up and show you my artwork, but I don't know if it'll like show up on screen. Yeah, look at that.
It
Look
will.
how good that looks.
Just backwards.
It's totally
Just backwards, yeah.
Is that better?
Wait, flip it around.
Drop down, flip it, and reverse it.
Don't worry, by this time next week, he'll have a digital version that you can clearly
Don't
see.
hot crunch. I think I just hit my mic. It's like, don't promise things that I'm not going to do.
Bobby.
But in the beginning of this campaign, the group, for the most part, are going to be together, with the exception of two of our players. Most of them are going to be in a caravan, traveling from point A to point B. That point A varies depending on the player and their backstory. That point B, however,
is death.
is death. You're on a one-way street to Death Town.
I thought it was Drimport.
It's Deathport. No.
Oh.
To the city of Drimport. Drimport is the largest city in the Haldren Kingdom. Haldren covers most of the southeastern part of this continent, but something has happened. There is a country to the north, the Kingdom of Ambrose, and a week ago, Ambrose has fallen into radio silence. Nobody knows why. There's no magical messages coming in and out. There's no caravans traveling in and out. And nobody is certain why that's happening. But rumors abound. Everything from Ambrose is preparing to go to war, to Ambrose has been meddling with magics beyond their control and have completely wiped themselves off the map. But nobody knows for sure why Ambrose has fallen into this silence. But that is about it for the start of this campaign. I'm not going to just exposition and lore dump on everybody, but there is kind of a backstory to different sections of the map, different parts, different countries, things like that. But for the most part, that is all you need to know. There's a caravan traveling westward, and they're being escorted across the country of Ambrose into the southern parts of Haldren. And that is weird. Most caravans don't have royal escorts, but this one does, and no one is quite sure why. And what makes it even more frightening is the escorts don't really know why. They're just following orders to escort people from point A to point B. Does anybody have any questions over anything we've went over thus far? Who's BBG?
We are actually going north, though, correct?
No.
Or south.
Going west.
You're going west at this point. You will be kind of diverging southwest.
Okay.
Yeah. I know why you're asking, and I'll tell you more about that later.
Okay.
Yeah. Because each one of them, I've told them about their own backstories and their own characters, and they've shared, where they're from and what they've done. And so they kind of have an idea of how things are going to play out for them so far, but they don't know about each other's characters or backstories. What they know is like class, race, and names, and that's about it. Yeah. They don't know what each other do or
And
what
they don't even know mine.
Yeah.
I don't even know mine.
It's Perry.
Humanoid.
I got Perry.
Perry's got a plaque.
Perry the platypus.
He's a black. We figured it out.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Big secret.
Wait a minute. He glows under a black light. He's a black.
It's gonna get really old if I keep.
That's a thing they do.
Nice.
So I'm gonna
Does blue
stop.
mean?
There's only 100
Why am I
days
blue?
of summer vacation.
What does
so-
blue mean? If you
That's
are
copyright. They'll come after us hard.
Maybe though.
For a
Wasn't paying
sense.
attention.
Ah, that's fine.
Talking about the
Statement.
big.
The elephant in the room.
The pig?
You almost said.
The big D. That's what I was gonna say. And I was like, no.
Man, nah.
The big mouse. The big mouse in Florida.
Oh.
They're coming after us.
I was like, that sounds terrifying.
Pretty sure it's the big W.
There's a big mouse and it's coming after us. Oh no.
It's him.
The rodent of unusual size?
I don't
Anyway.
think that. I forgot what was I saying?
You were asking if we had questions.
Yes, that. Any questions?
I have a whole lot of questions, but I don't think they're relevant here.
To
Am I
clar-
rich and famous yet?
No, that's why we're doing
To
this.
clarify, are we starting with the caravan first, or are we starting with the other two?
No, you're not going to be starting with the caravan first, and I am not going to tell you who's going to be
That's fine.
starting first.
I'm just doing.
I'm just telling you
are
the
the
caravan
others are going to
starting
be
last.
in the room or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to force people to stand outside or anything. Yeah,
I might stand outside of my own free will.
because you're a smoker.
Definitely not a
I don't know why you would out me in front of our audience. Like
You
that.
brought it up!
It's fact.
I might step outside. Will you step outside? Why are you outing me?
I mean, to be fair,
To be
I
fair.
might,
To be fair.
I might also step outside.
Because you're a smoker.
Not because I'm a smoker, because I don't. I'm not. Because I don't believe in.
We're looking at the guy in the tie-dyed shirt with a beard. He's a smoker.
I'm not a smoker.
He's
Absolutely.
a toker.
I hate all of you so much. If my mom sees this, she's gonna be like, "Are you smoking?"
Some
No.
people call him the space cowboy.
Wow, that was 10 years too late, man.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
Some people call him
I
the
had
no.
to toke.
love.
I don't believe in knowing anything that my character wasn't there for. So,
I feel like it's easier for you whenever you don't know, if your character don't know.
I might step outside for that as well.
Yeah, because Max, whenever things are happening that his character's not directly involved in, will like mentally shut down and block things out. Amos does that a lot of the time without.
Regardless of the
Yeah,
situation.
regardless of the situation.
Wow.
Hey,
Not gonna let them
I
discover
attack.
for themselves.
Oh, were you paying attention? I'm sorry.
If I can figure it out, we'll have like a what's going on counter? The Amos counter.
I attack. You killed the mayor. How much XP do we get?
I cast fireball in the room. You're in the room.
I didn't
I didn't
ask who's in the room.
that.
I said I cast fireball.
I'm flame resistant.
Base. On a true story.
Ish.
He
Yeah.
was,
He died.
just not that much.
I am one of
Amos ended an entire campaign that I was not part of, but
He did.
everybody else was, because of doing that.
It wasn't Amos's fault.
It wasn't entirely Amos's.
No,
It was
kind
his
of
second character
It was
that
kind
came
of my
back.
fault because I made a trap that was like way too scary.
Oh, the way that you described it when you called me after it happened, you were like,
That was a different. That was.
you were like, guess what happened?
I didn't.
Hey, sometimes a room
Buddy.
needs to be more on fire.
However, I will say that I used to like fudge my rolls and just like if I rolled a nat 20, I'd be like, oh, a 1, lucky you, you know, because I didn't want to kill the players.
To hell with that
And
now.
then, yeah, and then I had to
Brother.
sit down with Shane, and Shane was like, no, that's not going to be a thing anymore. It's like, you're going to play this straight. And so I do, and I will.
I am going to go on record, and I'll put $10 on it too.
You heard it here. $10 for
$10.
each.
Rich.
That Berta dies first.
I will not heal you specifically. So you die first. I will in fact
Murder you is what you're saying. This just
the holy
it's just-
symbol's not working. I
No,
don't know what to do.
sorry,
I'll
yeah.
protect you with my good
Who
berries.
died most in the last campaign?
I love to
Yeah.
gamble,
You've
but
got
I think
two
that's a
voices.
pretty
Really?
solid bet.
You're gonna
which
ask
is can't go
that?
against you.
Wasn't I the one with the frequent dire?
Yeah,
miles?
yeah.
Yeah,
frequent
you
dire
were.
miles.
He's not even in the comment. Oh, it's just you again.
The fast pass to the front of the line.
If he dies again, he gets a free hot fudge sundae. Like,
How many times did you resurrect?
I don't know, man.
More than twice?
Yes.
In my defense,
Wait, in the
it
last
was
campaign?
Dozens
Yeah.
of thousands
in
of
my
gold
defense, it was
pieces.
in your defense.
There's a lot of gold spent on that guy.
Ooh. But I mean,
It was fun though.
he deserved to live, though, was
Oh, yeah.
the thing. Like, Amos pulled his weight in that last campaign.
That's
was a
funny
good
because
campaign. That was
sometimes he
fun.
was enlarged.
That's why you gotta get them with the
8
breath of
times
life.
as
It's less expensive.
Oh, I had it, and I had it prepared with reach. Like every day.
He's gonna die at
without
some
fail,
point.
Yeah. I use the extra level to.
He's going to die, and he's going to be far away from me when it happens,
Yeah.
because I'm getting nowhere near that.
Pretty much. But Berta's characters typically are the first one to die.
They're highly
His second
flammable.
character is always fantastic. Not his first one isn't, but just circumstances.
I hope this is different.
I do
really
too.
is.
I do
Just
too.
remember, don't run into the pit as
That was
the only
you.
person attacking things.
And don't play an undead character that can't be healed with good magic.
Okay, so maybe it's self-inflicted.
You're calling a lot of people out.
Just reliving
No
old
holds
memories.
barred.
There's a whole concept I didn't quite realize how bad it was.
Yeah, it's not that I'm exempt from being called out. It's just that I'm the DM, and they know if they call me out, I'll be like, oh, is that so?
We still do it though. I still do it.
It's safe
You won't
to-
kill Berta. I dare you. I double dog dare you. Oh,
Stop.
do you think?
Stop.
You can absolutely at this point say no, daddy, no, and it makes sense.
Dungeon Daddy.
No Dungeon
I
Daddy,
will,
no.
I will not be saying that.
That is my goal to get him to say that.
Very well.
Good luck, I teach for a living.
That's cool. I don't.
The patience of the gods.
I don't have that either.
But yeah, so we did just wrap up a pre-gen campaign that took us like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
And it was probably one of my favorite campaigns that we've done, just because of all the epic moments and like how difficult it was and like how much y'all had to work together to get through all this. And I'm hoping this campaign is that cool, has those cool moments in it as well. But we've done some epic homebrew campaigns before. I think Max said his favorite one was a homebrew that we've done.
Man, I don't know if I have a favorite. Like, when I said the favorite thing, I started running through some of my favorite moments. Like, I've personally caused the apocalypse. That's not on my list. Like, that's not number one. I've chased a man around trying to cut his finger off to get a ring back.
Wasn't that the same campaign?
That was the same, yeah, with the eye guy, yeah. That's not a favorite moment. I killed a Glabber Zoo in one round. That's not a favorite moment. I think I've been a Jarl of like a whole realm. Not my favorite moment. I think my favorite moment is when we were playing a zombie campaign, and I was playing as a character named after one of my old bosses who I love dearly. And I walked in as Randy Coates, and we had an NPC that we fell in love with named Memphis, who was a sentient zombie, and he died. And then Eli brought him back as the BBEG, and it made me so damn mad that I had to go take a 45-minute walk outside and was screaming in a golf course. Like,
Yeah.
I went and hid in a hole with a gun and shot anyone and everything that came by the hole. And
In the
that,
In the game.
In the game.
In the game.
And that is my favorite moment.
That's how upset I am.
Not on the golf course.
No, but it was a real golf course. I was
Yeah.
legit screaming on a golf course.
I live by that golf course now.
The first time I ever met Max, he flipped the table.
Oh, that wasn't a thing.
I feel like a pretty level-headed guy most
No,
of the
no,
time.
you're not. You're the most energetic, upset person I have met.
So, yeah, you.
He just lives life to the max.
And
Alright,
good
guys.
night.
I'll see myself out.
Cue the outro music.
But, unless there's anything else anybody wants to add or talk about.
We play on Tuesdays.
Yes.
Tuesdays.
And,
Hoping to start at 6:30. Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
yes. But, of course, that doesn't really change when these videos are going to be coming out and how many we have. Because depending on the length of the session, depends on how many videos we can make out of it. And due to algorithms and what have you, we're going to be trying to release these at a consistent date and time. But we all have day jobs. You know, we all work for a living, and this is just something we do in our free time. So bear with us if videos don't come out consistently. We're going to be doing our best. And this is all for fun, and if we get, if we're the only views that we get, that's fine. If we make one other person happy, that's fine. But we're here to entertain you and to have fun doing it. And we hope you enjoy our videos as much as we enjoy making them. But I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. And so, until next time, adventurers, this has been a good day to die. See ya.